Hi, welcome to the Conscious Spirit podcast.
Yes. Finally.
Yes, we're so excited.
It is so
I don't even
exciting.
know what to say.
Yes.
I know.
And
Yes.
for those of you joining us on YouTube, we are still TCS Everyday Psychics.
Yes, absolutely.
I am still Mari-Lyn.
Yes.
This is still Pam.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so giddy about this. We're so excited.
We are so excited for this new chapter.
Yes.
It is going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
We know.
Yes.
We hope you know too.
Yes. So, we're not sure we really don't know exactly how this is going to go. We kind of have an overview, and we're not going to put every podcast on YouTube.
No, we're not.
So
We're
if
not.
you want to check out our podcast, we'll put the link below, but it's the Conscious Spirit podcast, and it's going to be everywhere. So you'll find us if you'd like. It's going to be more of what we do outside. So what we do on YouTube is a very small portion, really, of what we do. So
very small portion.
Yeah.
Actually.
yeah, really. So so we will continue reaction videos. There won't be as many because we're going to toss one of these in once in a while. But anyway, we're so glad that you have joined us.
And go ahead and subscribe and like and do all that great stuff right now.
Tell a friend. Yes.
Oh,
all right.
So
yes, what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and since it's our first podcast, I guess we should say as well that we are multidimensional energy healers, teachers, mentors,
paranormal mediums.
And so what we do mostly, we are healers. That is the main,
First and foremost.
First and foremost. So we get letters in the form of an email, but we get letters from people all the time who are in some sort of duress, and they don't know what's going on in their homes or with themselves or, the people they love, and they reach out to us for answers. And so we received this letter from a man asking for our help. We reached out to him and asked him, is it okay that we read this letter on our podcast as our first podcast to show everyone sort of what we do and to help him at the same time? So
He was very gracious
Yes.
in giving us permission.
We've changed his name. We've taken out of the letter anything that would sort of identify him or his family, where they live, etc. So we have sort of taken those pieces out.
And in our discussion about this, we you all know we talk about ethics all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
So there will be things that I'm sure we will both get that we will not be able to say.
Yes.
We'll share that with him, obviously. But for the most part, you're going to get what we get.
Right.
But just know that there's very possibly
and a way
things
to
we
look
won't
at
be able
that
to say.
really is for those of you listening or watching think about if you were the one that sent in the letter, would you want your personal information going out there? Even if we don't say your name or where you're from, that's still it's so personal. It's just not for us to tell. So one of the things that happens, one of the reasons that we lean on our guidance so much is our guidance lets us know. Like Fred stands behind me, and if I start to say something that crosses the line of ethics, he puts his hand on my shoulder and I stop.
Now, Cowboy, I don't talk about Cowboy. I don't think ever.
Right.
But Cowboy, my main guide, he usually puts his hand over my mouth. Or takes it out of my head.
Yes.
Takes it out of my head a lot.
I think that happened recently in a bit, right?
Yes.
You went to say something and you totally lost it?
Yep.
Yeah, that was probably,
Yep.
him saying.
That was him saying, "Oh no, you don't need to say that
Yeah.
out loud. That's no.
No. Mm-mm.
So
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead
Woo!
and
started?
yes, Mari-Lyn is going
Okay.
to. She will read the letter all the way through, and then we'll go back and talk about it. We have opened sacred. This is a little different, and we discussed how we would do this. Typically, we read a letter. We don't open sacred space first, but we do sort of feel into it as we're reading the letter. We talk about it, then we contact the person, and then we open sacred space and go in and look. We are kind of doing it a little different because this is a different forum for us.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and opened sacred space so we can sort of not just feel into it, not just sort of lean in, but we can actually look into it more and give more answers. Yeah. So we're very excited. I know.
The longer I sit here.
But this is you're going to watch us do what we do when we get a letter, basically.
All right. So this is a paranormal letter from JD.
Okay.
I don't know if you can help us, but I need to try something. We lived in our house for 5 years, and for 6 months, maybe more, my 12-year-old daughter says she hears someone whispering in her ear when she's trying to go to sleep. Lately, she doesn't want to sleep in her room. My 7-year-old son says he hears noises coming from his closet. We finally took the doors off the closet so he could see nothing was in there. He still hears the noises. I never thought much about the paranormal, but my family is suffering and I can't help them. We saw you on YouTube and decided we had nothing to lose by asking if you could possibly help us.
Okay, that brings tears. It really does. Okay.
And then he goes on to say, I suppose I should tell you about my experiences. I have been having nightmares that wake me up in a sweat. Things in my room are moved in the night. My wife says I'm talking to someone in my sleep. I don't know if I believe her. I don't remember it. Recently, I have felt like someone was shaking me awake and screaming at me, but when I wake up, no one is there and the house is quiet. Sometimes I feel like someone is watching me, and sometimes they feel so close that they are in my head. This only happens at home, and I have a family to take care of, and I am lost.
Okay.
And we are honored
Yes. Absolutely.
That he contacted us.
Yes, and trust us. I mean, there's a lot of trust there. He wouldn't have done it. You know, and I will say, and I will make the bold statement of especially men. Like the fact that a gentleman has reached out to us really says a lot. There's fear there for his family, because typically men are not the ones that reach out to us. Even at times when the family is all scared and the wife contact the man of the house, the husband, the father still isn't believing. So he just doesn't believe.
Typically.
And so this is really really something.
This man really puts his family first.
Yes. That's a good husband and father. I would like to start with him and work out that way, as opposed to, because he started with his family, and I think telling his story was a little bit of an afterthought.
I'm gonna kind of guess that maybe the wife had something to do with that.
That
you know, there's more to our story. You can't just lay this all on our kids.
Yes.
Ooh.
My first question, so if we had, what we would typically do would be to set up a consultation and we'd sit and talk about this. What I would ask, because it's coming in really strong, is he has some PTSD. There's definitely some of his trauma is coming through. Yeah. So that would be certainly the first question. So there was something about like he gets
shook.
Shook.
And hearing someone screaming at him.
Yeah.
My very first hit was, that's him.
Yeah, I get that too.
Shaking himself and screaming at himself.
Yeah. The shaking is like, hey, pay attention. You've got stuff coming up. It's the fear that's coming up. You have some trauma that needs to be healed, etc. He said that things are moved around his
things
room
in the
or
night.
something.
Things are moved overnight.
Yeah. I get that's his energy. His energy is moving things.
I do not, and I want to be really clear about this, I do not feel poltergeist.
Correct. I do not either. No. No.
Because what we just explained can be.
Sure.
Can be that.
And it has sort of become the general thing. Oh, that's a poltergeist.
It has.
Yeah. And that's another thing I want to say really quick before, and I know we've said it I think I had in other videos. Before we started watching paranormal, before we started doing this, the reaction videos. Yes, thank you. My words aren't coming. We really didn't. Our guidance just doesn't label things because there is so much nuance and so much going on that you can't label everything. Everything. So even with poltergeist, even though we understood what that means for people, it really isn't even. We started only using that because we know that's what you all have come to understand.
Right.
Right? So we want to try to explain as easily as we can to you. But the reality is we really don't get labels for anything.
No.
So
I don't.
Absolutely get that this is his energy. You're I absolutely, that completely lands with me.
The
fear, there's fear.
There is a lot of fear.
And not fear like I'm scared of something necessarily. It's that old fear, the old habits, the old wounding, the old trauma that starts to come up. And as you all know, we talk about there's the energy of fear and there's energy of love. And all of those things play into it. And I also get, I'm going to have to ask Fred if it's okay to say. So I can say as much as this gentleman has some anger issues. While awake, there are, but that comes from, that comes from the trauma. That comes from that fear pops up. He gets triggered from an old wounding, and he expresses himself in anger. Do you get that or not? Do you get something different?
No, that absolutely lands.
Okay.
And I'm checking in as well.
Yeah.
But yes, this is transporting to his son.
Yes. I got that too.
Yeah.
I get that too. Now the daughter, that's something different. That were something about whispering in the ear or something.
Yes.
We'll come back to that because that doesn't feel related, actually, for me.
Okay.
I agree. But we'll come back and look at that.
The son is never mind.
And how old? Oh, okay. And how old is the son? I think it said in there.
7.
7. Okay. There is very often a connection, and why I'm not sure. I really not, and maybe we could talk about that or something. there's connection between the same-sex child. There's often a bigger connect when it comes to this sort of thing. So it doesn't surprise me that the son is having to say as dad.
Okay.
That doesn't surprise me.
What's coming with this father-son connection? The son is very confused and is trying to alleviate.
Yeah.
He's trying to take it. If I do this, dad doesn't have to feel it.
And there's a confusion there because I want to be like dad.
Yes.
And so that's a lot of confusion.
Yes.
Lots of confusion.
Because he doesn't want to be that way.
Right.
But, and
and
all of those
connectors or
connector
whatever they are.
words, yes. The energy is such that it just takes him.
Yeah. So what we would do with him is we would offer him a healing, the father. He really needs to start that. We would also suggest talk therapy, if he will. So, you know, that's another thing with men. They don't typically, and that's okay. That's his free will to do that or not do that.
Sure.
If there is some sort of drug or alcohol issue, I would absolutely refer him. We would refer him to Mari-Lyn to support him in that journey. And I'll let Mari-Lyn can talk about that. That's not my area.
That would be a whole new consultation.
Yes.
A whole new consultation.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether that was something that, if that were an issue.
Yes.
I will just have full disclosure here.
Right.
I have 12 and a half years sobriety.
Whoop, whoop.
And I have come across so many people that just don't know how to walk that path of sobriety. And I offer an additional way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and I'm going to say something really quick. I know in a previous video I said, she's 13 years, and she corrected me, it's only 12 and a half.
Only 12 and a half.
I'm sorry. I tried to add a few months on there. Either way, it's beautiful, and congratulations.
Thank you. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
And you've been helping people in this way. And recently she has opened that up to offer it to more people, which is so beautiful. And she's a healer, and that's what she does. And that's, you know, we go through certain traumas in our life.
Yeah. And
we heal them, and through that we become mentors and teachers, and that's what she has done. So that would be something for this gentleman. I'm, you know, certainly not going to say what I'm getting or how much I'm getting or whatever, but let's just say that's an option. And so I think there's a lot of, if he has some trauma that's coming out, I'd like to know if it's affecting the entire house, just his bedroom, how much of this happens when he's awake versus asleep. Those are questions that we would ask him, and that would help us really hone in on exactly what's going on in the home.
In feeling into that, it feels like it is beginning to affect him while awake.
Okay. All right. That would not surprise me at all. It eventually does. It eventually does.
That's what led to reaching out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think his family is scared. They're scared, which scares him. And this is just sort of that.
And,
cycle.
you know, who knows what the family dynamic is, but even if he's not talking about what's happening, children are so, oh my gosh, they're so open to other people's feelings.
Yes, especially their parents.
Yes. So if, you know, if he's in that vibration of fear, they know it. Whether they know why or not, you know, doesn't really matter. They just know, you know, that the parent is in.
And I'm
struggling.
really getting also, which is an odd thing. This is it is definitely a little different than what we normally get, because I'm feeling I'm just going to say that the wife is not handling it as well as she could. So there would be I would like to offer her a session, or we would offer her a session as well, to help her cope with this or deal with it, or the way there's something with the way she's handling it with her children that we could help her do that in a healthier way. I'm not going to go as far as saying it's like the super unhealthy thing. Not at all. Just a way for her to speak to them and to deal with this, because she is struggling as well. How old was the daughter?
Daughter is 12.
12. Okay.
I have a question though about, because I would like to talk about this briefly. The son and energy healing for the 7-year-old son.
So, typically, you know, we don't work with that young of a child. However, it has come up before, and what I have done is, first you have to have the parent permission.
Yes.
And speak to the child's higher self. That's always a must. You have to get his higher self's permission, and they could say no. They absolutely could say no, and then you're just done, and everything has to be done sort of 3D-ish. But if so, what's coming now is when he goes to sleep at night, the mom would text me or let me know when he's asleep, and I would do that while he sleeps. Yeah, that's what's coming, to clear that energy. You can feel something in his gut, like it really affects him in his gut, that fear, whatever he thinks is in that closet. We would definitely fix the grids in the whole house. That's always a must.
Definitely.
A must. And yeah, I think he projects his energy as well. He, like you said, he's similar to Dad in that way. Yeah. And get the doors back on the,
doors back on the closet.
Yes. Unless it really makes him feel safer to have them off. I mean, that's really not one way or the other. But.
Yeah. What also comes with the son, actually with any children, is coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Because they don't know how to cope with the unknown.
Yes.
And Spirit brings us some beautiful coping mechanisms.
Yes. Oh, and you know what's just coming now is in another shamanic tradition, which is beautiful, but dream catchers. And he could even he and his mom or whatever could make that dream catcher, put it above his bed, and that helps with everything in his room. And you know, that's a beautiful place for all that energy to go. And I've really seen that help.
Love that.
Yeah. So that would be another sort of tool that he could use.
Love that.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about dream catchers since I worked in the craft store.
Yes. And you can even take their favorite stuffed animal and that's a dream catcher for them. You know, it doesn't have to be like the craft thing, but kids often, if he likes crafts, which he may not, little boy, I have 2 sons. My kids could care less about crafts. They wanted to be outside kicking a ball or beating each other up or whatever, you know, the whole boy thing. But yeah, so
Yeah. Good.
Hey.
Thank you. I didn't
yeah,
want to just,
Yeah.
leave out
Yes.
the 7-year-old, because even if an energy healing isn't the right thing, and for children,
Yep.
as Pam said, it's not generally.
Yes.
But they still need an outlet. They still need
Yep.
some type of
Yes,
guidance
absolutely.
there. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're still learning. They're learning how to cope. They're learning
mm-hmm.
the right words to use, the right actions to do, so they need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They need that guidance. Okay, so
All
the
right.
daughter's
The daughter
is
12.
12.
And she's hearing someone whispering in her ear when she's trying to go to sleep.
So I have a very clear message on that one. What about you?
Okay. I have some info.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
So I get grandma.
Oh.
Yes. Grandma, not meaning to frighten her, but grandma is saying everything's going to be okay. But
Oh.
she's not hearing that. The little girl's not hearing that. She can just feel like something is in my ear and it's scary.
Okay.
Yes.
I did not
Yes.
get grandma.
Yeah. And I only actually get grandma doing it a couple of times.
Okay.
So I think there might be some more to that, maybe her fear or anything. But what did you get?
So what I got was that I don't feel a resident.
And
earthbound.
grandma has crossed over, by the way. This is not
thank
3D
you.
grandma. This is spirit
crossed
grandma.
over
Healed grandma.
spirit.
Yes.
What I got is that there is one, maybe two transient earthbounders
Okay.
that come
Oh,
by.
yes.
And she's shiny to them.
She's shiny to them, and they saw what grandma did. That happens.
Those sneakers?
We can't tell you how often this has happened.
Oh.
So many times. They have seen or watched the healed one do something, and then they come in and pretend to be that one. Yes, so she's getting that more. Yes.
She's
the
getting that
picture is
more
coming so clear.
more often.
Yes.
And there is a feeling of something in the home doorway-ish.
Oh, okay. Do you know where? Do you see where?
It feels close to the daughter's room.
Okay. All right. 'Cause
Because
she's pretty shiny. She's a shiny one. And actually so is the son, but there's too much emotion going on there for it to really, in his case. But yes.
Yeah, it feels close. It feels close to her, but not close enough to where it would be in her room.
Right.
And when we're looking at this energetically, it's it's just energy.
Right.
So it's not like I'm remote viewing and looking in their house, trying to figure out where this is.
No, that's inappropriate. That's talk about ethics
Ooh,
violation.
So inappropriate.
Yes. Remote viewing is ethic violation.
We are not spying here.
No.
So
I also get that the daughter likes crystals. I think she has some. I see a couple things like blinking in her room, and I think she's put crystals around. So that could even be something that we could. We're not huge on crystals, but we understand crystals. We're not, and help her use them appropriately or with intention. Because if that's what she's drawn to, that's what she likes. And they could just be rocks too. She could just be someone that you find, and they will do the same thing, by the way.
Yes,
as
they
crystals will. You can calibrate any old rock to be anything you want it to be. Crystals, even. You can have one crystal and you could calibrate it. You might have an amethyst, and then you want to calibrate it to something else, a calcite or whatever. So.
Yep. They all come from Mother Earth.
Yep.
And they all hold all of her fabulous high vibrational energy.
Yes. Yes. So they're not, of course, they are beautiful within their own properties, whatever that is, but
Yes.
it's, yeah, you can change them.
But they are not
Yeah.
stuffy.
They're not stuffy. No, they're not. Not sure what that means, but we're going with it. Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, yes.
Wow.
Ah.
Okay.
All right. So, this is, I don't know if there's anything else we can do now. But,
yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
Certainly clearing a house on a podcast wouldn't work.
Right. Nope, not at all.
Um,
And no, we do not have to physically be there. I know we still get that question sometimes. And no, any sort of energy healing, and
Right.
that is energy healing,
it is.
can be done from anywhere. We have clients all over the world. And thank you. We love them all. We're
Oh my
so
gosh.
honored.
All over the world.
All over
oh
the
my
world.
gosh.
Yes. So, no, you don't have to be there. Energy is energy, and it's there's no time or space within that. And so
There is not.
you don't have to. So,
Yeah.
so we will reach out, excuse me, to this gentleman and let him know very gently and kindly what we received and what we think would be good. And I think he'll go for it. I think he will want to,
I think he will.
yeah, I don't think he'll do the talk therapy, and that's okay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens and what services he wants, and whether he continues those services with us or he finds a trusted person in his area. We just want you to get healed and get your needs met wherever those needs can be met.
Absolutely.
So we're perfectly fine with that. We will just give him what we came up with and then go from there. So well, we hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah. I
This
did.
new
This
format.
was,
I did too.
That was good.
Yes.
So again, thank you, JD, for sending your paranormal letter.
Yes. And paranormal heal. There's a lot going on here that's more than just paranormal.
Yes.
And we will have more of those letters. If you, whoever's listening, watching, listening, well, have a story that you would like us to read on air and talk about, please send it in to us. The consciousspirit.net, tcseveryday psychics.com, and we will do that. And if you choose, you can say, I don't want it read on air, I would just like help with this. We will do that too. We would never put that condition on there that it has to be blind.
Absolutely.
But
we do need your permission to do it on air.
yes.
So
Yes, but we would love to. So and let us know what you think about this format.
Yeah.
Because we really, going forward, this is kind of a format, at least part of the time, that we will be doing.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, there will be, we're going to do other things too. We're going to answer other kinds, all those yummy spiritual questions that you all have. We are going to go over that.
And clearing up concepts.
Yes.
I know we talk about clearing up concepts.
Yes.
Well, we used to talk about it quite often.
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to be.
Our podcast is going to be more on the side of the spiritual journey and how does the metaphysical, the paranormal come together, and even the religious. How does that all come together in our spiritual journey? That's more of our podcast, where on YouTube, we're more paranormal with spiritual edges. We talk about those. But, so yes.
Yeah. Spiritual healing edges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that. So.
Always got to throw healing in there.
Yes. So we will put the link below to the podcast.
Yep.
They will also be on our website. We have 2 websites. Things are going to be changing around.
Things are moving.
Things are moving.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure tcseverydaypsychics.com will always get you to all the links everywhere. Theconsciousspirit.net, I think that's going to get changed to, that will take you to our podcast site. And then from there, you can find out all about us too. And everything's going to be hooked together somehow. We're still sort of
sorting it out.
Spirit just said, just start it because that's what you need to do.
Yep.
So
just take that leap of faith.
Yes. So we thank you so much for walking this journey with us.
Yes, we do.
It's incredible.
It is.
I want to say something too before we go because it's sort of coming in. When we started this channel on YouTube, that's where so what happened was we did everything in person. We had some on the phone, like I've had Nan she and I have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've had some elsewhere that everything was on the phone or Zoom, Skype, whatever.
Right.
And then when COVID hit, because in Portland, everything got locked down and that we had no choice but to go online, and it just sort of took off from there. Spirit said, go to YouTube. We fought that for a long time.
Oh, we did.
And we finally did it. And so everything has sort of changed. And when we started this, we set the intention, we don't need everyone. We just need the right ones.
Yes.
And boy, have you found us. And we are so honored. Like, it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It really is.
We wanted quality over quantity. And quantity is nice if it's quality with it.
Right.
But we just wanted to thank you. We really mean it when we say we have the best community.
We do.
On the internet anywhere.
Yeah.
We do. You
really
guys
do.
are so amazing and so supportive of us. And so, thank you.
Thank you. We are truly blessed.
Yes. Overwhelmed even.
Yes. That too.
Okay. Well,
all right.
We hope you liked it, and
yeah.
we'll see you next
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.